right, everybody, welcome. We are rolling to you from the Palatial Studios, broadcasting 13 feet towering high above South Mercer Street from the 16125. For those of you that are from not around this neck of the woods, we're broadcasting live from Western Pennsylvania, between Pittsburgh and Erie, Youngstown, Ohio, Cleveland, up here in this neck of the woods. It is going to be a great evening there. Paul Kiss, I see you. Good evening, everyone. Good evening to our Canadian Pennsylvania representative. Ted Morris is in the house. Instead of dropping the Russian on me tonight, we have a thumbs up with U.S. flag. Rhonda Hodge, God bless you. Friday fun night at the Fells, watching PG and eating ice cream. Listen, it doesn't get any better than that. Ray Fell, how about a big shout out to Ray Fell? I'm going to give tonight the #1 viewer award, Ray Fell. How about a cheer for Ray Fell? Woo! Ashley Mahalik, welcome to you. Shirley Leventree, checking in from the great state of Mississippi. Sandy Winterberger, welcome to you. Ro Gammon. Don't you guys just love that name? What's your name, Ro? No, like, what's your name? Ro. No, like your name. Ro Gammon, Richmond, Virginia, Midlothian, Virginia. Robin and Jethro checking in. Welcome. I'm looking forward to the first week of December. That's where I'm going to leave that for Robin and Jethro. And yes, I'm working on everything. Everything's going to be golden, golden, golden. Rick Powers, welcome to the program. Carly Fleck, welcome to the program. Painting and listening to UPG. Bruce Lozier, how about a good evening, Roadkill? Welcome to you, my dear friend. John Cullen Jr., up in the house tonight. Y'all are working the left hand very well. Diana Tarleton, checking in from Sacramento, California. California is in the house. Pam Bowman checking in, Mount Airy, North Carolina. John McElvey, Alabama is in the house. Welcome to Alabama. Eric Wilson checking in, Morgantown, West Virginia for a couple of days. Folks, everything is going well. We're going to have an incredible night tonight. I'm excited. I am kind of juiced up, not because of the beverage of the night. The beverage of the night is moving to a different demographic. It's going to be a good one, I'm sure, I hope. But I just literally finished teaching for a couple of hours a class on world religions. And that was at our main campus of the church. I teach for Advantage College. So today's been quite a day. Had the class ready. Of course, I already had the information ready, but then had to pre-set up all of the experience program for tonight. And I've actually been streaming with Facebook, with Integrity Television for a couple of hours. We had to pre-wire it. And literally, I walked in, sat into my chair, had my guest ready to go, who's coming up here in a little while. Justin Reynolds is going to be with me tonight. Going to have a great conversation. And had 3 minutes to hit the button to get the rocket ship firing off. And everything went perfectly. You know, it's kind of like Stephen Haywood says, you can deal with junky equipment and you're going to struggle. But Stephen Haywood, the Tech Buzz, you guys have set me up well. I appreciate it. PTZ Optics, all you guys. And this stuff's cruise control, man. I just hit the buttons and the spaceship goes. So thank you to everybody. Thank you for being here. And Ted Morris, first week of December. Yes, I'm actually deer hunting the first 2 weeks of November because I black powder hunt in Virginia. And I don't mind telling everybody, keep in prayers Robin and Jethro, as they said in the chat. Good evening, Richmond, Virginia. Ronald Leon Vander, Rick Berry, checking in the house tonight. He is the normal sidekick, full of information and disdain for the world. Just a joke, Rick. Just a joke. First week of December, Holly and I will actually be traveling with Robin and Jeff down to Florida, looking for the Lord to do a healing in Jeff's body through medicine. And so you guys remember Jeff Elder in your prayers. Going to be we're expecting a miracle. Going down there and traveling for some procedures. He had a stroke, and but God is healing and restoring his body, and we're believing for complete restoration. So we've got a trip planned first week of December to do that. I don't even know if I was allowed to say that or not, but I guess Robin and Jeff just have to be mad at me and throw stuff at the TV. But hey, let's get this whole crew from the experience praying and let's see what can happen. Mary Fireball checking in. Leonard and John are both at home tonight after a stay in the hospital. John in Richmond, Leonard in Roanoke. Thanks for the prayers. John and Leonard, how about a cheer for John and Leonard feeling better and doing great? Karen Beatty, good Friday evening from Fredonia. Julia Augustine up in the house. She was one of the students in the class virtually, and long time no see. It is time to roll. And yes, Julia Augustine, I do still have the same shirt on from when I was teaching. Now, folks, awesome. Thank you for that. Robin, that chat will come through. I'll give that. And we're going to say hello, and we're going to put the hammer down, and we're going to have a great time. Robin said, yes, praise God. Thanks, everyone. So you guys remember Jeff Elder, first week of December, heading to Florida, and we're believing God's going to do a complete miraculous healing in his body. Look at there. See, that's the way this thing rolls. Prayers for December starting now. Love it. Going to be an awesome time. Facebook world, YouTube world, and Integrity Television. Welcome to the program. Special guest coming up in about 20 minutes. Gonna have a great conversation with a young man who's doing some amazing work, and we're gonna have a great time. Buddy Wilson, big hello back to you. I don't know about you guys, but the beverage of the night is going to be a little different tonight because I already know what it is. I'm not really sure about it. I think my demographic just went up. We shall see what happens.
Ladies and gentlemen, what you are about to witness is not only exciting and educational, but sometimes a bit risky as well. Do not try this at home. It's time for the beverage of the night.
Folks, I don't know what y'all are doing to me. Kim Porter, she's changed her name to Importer. She's, as Seinfeld would say, I think it was George Costanza. If he was not an architect, he was an importer-exporter, George Costanza. Do any of y'all know what I'm talking about? Seinfeld and Costanza and Elaine and Cosmo Kramer? In my mind, I'm already there. Come on. Welcome to you, Kim Porter. Good evening, Rosemary Lozier, Lynn Fireball. John and I thank you for your prayers. And Larry Gorley. Hello to everyone from the road. Awesome. So, folks, are you guys trying to tell me something? Seriously? This is the beverage of the night? I'm 49 years old. I'm not 89. 89's even young to Leonard Fireball. He's 91. Leonard, do you drink Ensure? Raphael, do you drink Ensure? What? The only person I knew drink Ensure was my great uncle. He was like 130. Come on, people. What are you sending me Ensure for? I guess you're trying to, at least you gave me milk chocolate Ensure. I'm ensuring life and health and all the good stuff. 16 grams of protein, 160 calories, 27 vitamins, minerals. And I'm going to tell you something. Leonard Fireball, 91, 49 right here. We can pound the Ensure with the best of them. I may get lit on Ensure. Folks, that's pretty good stuff. Pastor Kathy C., I see you in the house. Folks, we're going to have a great, great time tonight. Get ready. Some laughs, for some look into what's going on in the world. Really some crazy stuff. And we're going to have a great chat tonight with Justin Reynolds. You guys get ready. It is time to go. Folks, Barney is locked and loaded. He's sitting right here beside me. He gave you the nice stare. What's his statement tonight?
This is what we call the deadly game. I'm in it for keeps.
Folks, let me tell you something. You know, you've got a show that is fun, having a great time. Frankie Jones, big hello to you. But when you see on the experience broadcasting live on Facebook, YouTube, and Integrity Television, we're trying to get the truth of the gospel out. Look at what's going on in the world, see where we're lining up, when Jesus is coming back, all the other stuff. And we're talking about mixed drinks. Dude, what kind of crowd do I got? I'm having mixed drinks with Ensure and ice cream. It doesn't get any better than that. Good grief. All right, folks, we're going to start with a cartoon of the day. Uh-oh. I got that slide out of order. How on earth did I make that mistake? Well, the question is, did I make a mistake? Or is that the cartoon of the day? Man, is that bad? God bless them. They need Jesus. Here's the real cartoon of the day. I think this one's pretty good right here, folks. This guy says, the pastor says, the next time when I preach on tithing, he tells the song leader, don't sing Jesus Paid It All as our invitational hymn. Hey, you got to have a smile every once in a while, folks. That's a pretty good one right there. The next time I preach on tithing, do not sing Jesus Paid It All. Well, folks, let's get to the stuff tonight. Yeah, we had a cartoon first, we had a cartoon second, but let's go back to the original cartoon. And I want to talk tonight, if you saw the advertisement earlier, I want to talk about the blame game. So this is going to be in regard to all the topics we've been discussing. We've been talking about Afghanistan. We've been talking about the Taliban. We've been talking about border control and immigration. We've been talking about COVID-19. And listen, all of these events are real. Things are happening. We're talking about the Iran nuclear program. We're talking about Ezekiel 38. We're talking about the nations that are going to be coming against Israel. We even are getting even more details where they're lining up and coming together. Got a couple things for you on that way tonight. But here's the deal. I have no idea where Vice President Kamala Harris is. And I guess that's okay. And secondly, everything coming from the administration and the United States federal government right now, I am defining as the blame game. You see, it's his fault. It's her fault. It's their fault. But for sure, it's not me. You see, I think that is a reoccurring theme that happens in the press conferences, and not only on the political and the news realm, but even in the church world. You know, nothing's ever anybody's fault. It's always some of the reason, his fault, her fault, their fault, but never me. But right now, this seems to be a major reoccurring theme in our federal government, and I'm seeing some warning signs and some troubles that are coming down the road. The first thing I want to talk about is our border. You see, with the deflectionary policy that we talked about a few weeks ago of distraction, looking at Afghanistan, Taliban, we forgot about the border. Now we're going to focus on the border so that we can forget about Afghanistan and the Taliban. Then we're going to talk about the economy so we don't have to talk about COVID. Then we're going to talk about COVID so we don't have to talk about the economy. It's called pass the buck. It's called blame the game, and it's everybody's fault but mine. But here is the problem that I have tonight, and I think this is very, very fair statement. I think it's an honorable statement. I think it's a Christian statement. But my problem is this: we must take care of our own. And that doesn't mean we're not an open nation. We want, people to come and be a part of this great country, the melting pot, legally. We've discussed it for a year and a half, probably hundreds of times. We do not talk about countries in a bad light. We talk about evil regimes, never about people. But I'm going to tell you something right now. When we turn on our own people, that is a disaster in the making. I try to be a little generous with Christian viewpoint, biblical viewpoint, when our administration turned its back on the Americans and the Afghani allies, when we just ran out of Afghanistan like a bunch of cowards and we left everything there for the Taliban to come up and for China to come in and to push more to the Silk Road. So Ezekiel 38 even comes quicker and easier. I wasn't too upset, but I'm going to tell you something. When you turn on our wonderful Border Patrol immigration officers who are trying to keep our borders safe, who are trying to protect American people, and you just abandon them, when you just call them out as evil and that you're going to prosecute them and you're going to persecute them and you're going to pass the blame that it is the Border Patrol's problem. They're having to chase down illegal immigrants. They're whipping them with whips, which is not true. They're riding on horses with extra long reins because they're in hilly terrain. They never whipped one person. There's a picture right there of a border agent riding a horse, reaching over, trying to grab an illegal immigrant. There's no telling what that guy has done. We're not evil people. We're just trying to protect our country and do the job that you can't do effectively. And then as the president of the United States, you're going to turn against our own people. You make statements like, our border agents, these people will pay. There will be reparations against our own border agents. And right before I went to teach the class, I was able to pull this one in and get it ready. President Biden told our border agents that they have crossed the line and that he has dropped threats to put our own border agents in prison for protecting our borders. I have no idea what planet you, sir, are on. This is the United States of America. We are a Christian nation. We have sovereign borders, supposed to. We are a generous nation. We are a caring nation. We are a loving nation. But we are a very patriotic nation when you get into the core of the wonderful people across the United States of America who still love their country, who still love their God, who still love their Bible, who do like Hulk Hogan said, and they take their vitamins and they say their prayers. That's what made America great. And you as the president, the leader of the free world, are going to turn on your own border agents. Reminds me of when Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama turned on our own people at Benghazi. What kind of people? Honestly, you need Jesus. I've got lots of friends who are heathens. I mean, really good heathens who do not think like this. You know, Rick, I see your quote here. Woe to them that call evil good and call good evil. Here's the bottom line, folks, and I've been telling you that these things must happen. I hate to say it, but they must happen. America's going to come down on its level of global domination. There's going to be an event that happens in the Middle East, and we're going to kind of be on the second row of activity. It's very obvious in Scripture. It's obvious in the scriptures we've been looking at, but that doesn't mean we have to like it. I absolutely hate it that our president would say, I'm going to throw our border agents in prison. He has no clue. Sir, you've never even been to the border. You haven't even been there. You have no clue what you're talking about. And this is very, very unfortunate. Even my heathen friends have more honor than that. It is very, very disturbing that we turn our backs on our own people. And I'm telling you what's going to happen right now. There's going to be a trickle-down effect on this. You know, when you talk about economics and the trickle-down of economics, we'll talk about that in just a moment. But there's going to be a trickle-down effect of our leaders turning their backs on the American people. And there's going to come a time where something is going to unfold that's, and I'm not prophesying, I would never say any doom or gloom. We pray for our president. We pray for our leaders. I can't get in my car and drive to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue and knock on the door. It's not happening. But we can proclaim the truth. But this trickled down, obvious hatred of the American way, it's going to bite you in the butt. Am I allowed to say that? You know what? I think this Ensure got some caffeine in it. Next time I get some Ensure, I'd like one of those Ensure milkshakes. They would be good. They would be good. Folks, that's what we're seeing. And it's very, very, very unfortunate. It's called the blame game. And we have absolutely crossed the line. You know, I want to remind you tonight of what happened in Afghanistan for just a moment. And I'm not going to talk about it, but I want to show you guys a video. I have a guy that I follow on the economic side. Very, very brilliant man from Amsterdam. He's in his 50s. He's a 30-year investor. He has multiple master's degrees from Wharton School of Business. The dude's brilliant. Not a believer, but we're working on that. I communicate with him fairly regularly. He lives in San Francisco now. Very, very, very smart man. And been learning a lot from him. A lot of the things that I share with you guys about the economic changes that are happening in America and the world that are pushing us into some troubling situations that are a fulfillment of Scripture. You know, I'm learning from this guy. He shared a video with me, and he was talking about, you know, just how America, and he's an American, but he's former European. He's an immigrant. And he just says, I just can't believe how America can just abandon everything that's good. How is it possible? How is it possible? And listen, he's not a born and bred American. Because how is it possible? You can just check out and leave your people in Afghanistan. Leave your allies for the Taliban. How could you leave, and this was his point, the economic side. How could you leave billions of dollars worth of tanks and equipment, and most importantly, money, that now they are flaunting over America, and we do nothing about it? And I said, well, what are you talking about? He said, I got a video I want to share with you. I said, all right, send it on. So this video comes from a guy named Anthony Pompliano. Anthony Pompliano is a economics guy. Talks about business a lot, but you know, this is a Christian-based program. This is an outreach and ministry of Bethel Life Church. It's the program, The Experience. It's grown from Facebook to YouTube, Integrity Television, and we look at everything. I try to give you guys viewpoints into things that you will never see on Fox News. You will never see on Newsmax. You will never see on whatever your flavor of the month is. This is one of those things. Talking about the blame game, talking about deflectionary policy, talking about ignoring reality. Anthony Pompliano shared this video. It's about 3.5 minutes long, but this kind of sums up right now what we're dealing with throughout the world.
We are going to play for you a wild video in 1 minute that you will not see anywhere else. I promise. Nowhere else will you see this video. Somehow it got blacked out on mainstream media. The Taliban has now seized more than $12 million in cash and gold from former government officials and handed it over to the Afghanistan Central Bank. What? Yes, that's what has happened. Is the Taliban has gone to the homes of former government officials, and they have found $12 million. Allegedly, only $12 million. Maybe they found a little bit more, put it in their pocket. Hey, I don't know. But of that $12 million, there's cash and gold. And this is one photo to start with. There's money counting machines. There's stacks of cash. Like, this looks like any old operation. You might as well just have like some sort of business going on here in terms of all of this. We then got a second photo that is counting the cash. Like, this is crazy. Literally sitting here saying, let me just count these Benjamins real quick here. Let me see what's going on. How's this going? Now, here's the video. We're going to pull up this video, and I want you to watch this, and you tell me, this is the Taliban now inside the former government official's home, and you tell me how crazy it is that these former government officials not only had the money, this is what they left behind. They ran away, and they left this behind. Just cash. Leaving with their phones too. They getting the pics for the gram. Yeah, they're on like Instagram Live. Yeah, they're on Instagram Live while they're doing this. Then we got this gold, we got this cash. Look at us. Just wait till they open the suitcase.
Yeah, it is important to note that this is what they left behind, right? So
look at this suitcase. Bands. Look at that one. Look at that suitcase. And the guy films.
This was in the vice president's home.
Yeah, I don't know what they're saying, obviously, but I gotta imagine like, hey, bro, how much is mine? Yo, okay, all right, you get that suitcase. I want the bigger one.
You said that they handed it over to the Afghan central bank. The Taliban now runs the central bank. Just so you know, they gave it back to themselves.
I mean, look at that suitcase right there. This is crazy. This is absolutely nuts. Some of it's gold, some of it is cash, and they're literally just picking it up out of suitcases. So obviously, this is a huge, huge, huge deal here where in the United States, we got it bad, right? There's stuff going on. There's lots of people with questions. We should address it. We should take care of it. But then there are places in the world where there's outright corruption, what at least this appears to be, where the Taliban is going into the former vice president's home and found millions of dollars. There's about $6 million in cash in that video and 15 gold bars that were stashed in his home. So after he ran away and the Taliban went in, that was what was left over. Who knows how much they actually got away with or took with them. Now, on top of that, they've obviously found a bunch more money. And so there are accusations that the former Afghan president, Ashraf Ghani, has been accused of fleeing the country with millions of dollars in currency as well. And so when you look at this, first of all, I'm blown away by just the imagery. Like this photo right here, where it almost looks like they literally have a financial, like they're settling their books for the month, and they got the cash just sitting over there with the money counters. That's crazy. And then when you watch the video, and it's literally like it's like kids at home, they broke open their piggy bank, and like the money fell on the floor, and now they're divvying it up with each other.
Giant piggy bank.
right? But like, I mean, this is craziness that's going on here.
Yeah, I think one thing's also important to note is that these videos were most likely released, right, to try to like humiliate the old government that was in place there, because it is one of the poorest countries in the world, and they have cash just sitting in suitcases in homes of government officials.
So, folks, there you have it. That's from Anthony Pompliano video. You're not going to see anywhere else. It was sent to me from a friend of mine out of California, and I'm telling you something. Are you serious? I mean, really? These are things you hear about. Maybe that happened. Maybe it didn't happen. But that young guy at the end who made the last statement, he says, I think they put this out there just to humiliate people. Folks, something has to give. Something has to give. Received a call today. In fact, I'll skip ahead to this one, but I received a call today from Greenville High School. Now, for those of you that are not local here, but this is Greenville High School here. It's our local high school in our town. This is where my children have went. It's where my son goes now. My two daughters have graduated there. Received a call this evening. I don't know, 5:30. It was recording from the school superintendent. And it basically said this: we got a problem. And the problem is we do not have food coming into the cafeteria. The supply lines have been broken. We're not getting the proper products that we're supposed to have to feed the kids on the schedule that we have stated. But please, and they're really good school system. And he was very positive. He says, but please rest assured, your children will have lunches that are in the school, Everything's going to be taken care of, but for sure it's going to be a challenging time. Here's what aggravates me about that. And I understand we've got supply issues and breakdowns, and it's not just in America, but it's global. And I'm going to talk about that in just a moment, because remember, Ezekiel 38, that war is going to be about plunder. You're going to have nations that are needing resources. They're going to come against Israel. That's what the war is about, resources. That is why I believe we're going to have global impact. I hate to be doom and gloom, but it's looking like we could have some legitimate meltdown, inflation to deflation that could just capitulate, meaning instantly like a whipsaw, go backwards the other way, and we will go from bad to worse, even though inflation went to deflation. I've taught you a little bit about that in the past. But while we're doing that, 75,000 members of the Taliban that overthrew Afghanistan and the American military there that left, and they, of course, they couldn't overthrow us if we were in charge, and says that ain't happening. But when we turn and go the other way under the leadership of our commander-in-chief, and we leave bags of cash, military equipment, gold bars, and you just see the corruption and you see the evil. And in America, we can't even deal with our own border, and we can't even get food to our kids to eat in high schools. Something's wrong with that picture, and something must change. It's got to change, and I'm telling you, America's not going to stand for it much longer. It's just not going to happen. There are a lot of God-fearing, wonderful American people that are sick of this mess when they're running around with suitcases full of cash, and my kid doesn't even have chicken nuggets at high school. Something's got to change. Ridiculous. How about some more blame game? Now the House today passes an extreme pro-abortion bill to wipe out all the state pro-life laws. For example, the Texas law that just came down. We rejoiced over it because basically it said in Texas that you could not abort a baby where a fetal heartbeat was detected. Typically that happens at about 6 weeks, and most times at 6 weeks, the pregnancy's not even yet been discovered. So basically, it took abortion off the table. Kudos to the state of Texas. But now, our House, under the leadership of evil people, communist, God-hating people, how else can you say it? Of anything that's good and righteous and wholesome, as the New Testament describes. Passing a Woman's Health Protection Act this morning. Didn't even know it was coming through the House. The goal of it is to wipe away states' rights to make abortion rulings. Folks, it is an assault on America. It is the blame game. It is deflectionary policy. And we are witnessing this, and my kid can't even get a chicken nugget to Greenville High School. Something's goofy. Tell you what's goofy? Jesus is coming back. That's what's goofy. It's a good goofy. But you know what happens? Here's what happens. Many times people in America think it's only America. Oh, and this is why I am anti-conspiracy theory. You guys know that for Tuesdays and Fridays from 8:30 to 9:30, you're not getting any conspiracy theory. You see, you could have the conspiracy theory that, oh, hey, in Afghanistan, they've got millions of dollars in gold bars and suitcases, but nobody has any proof. I heard about it already, but I wasn't going to say anything until I could show you the video. There, you saw it for yourself. You talk about economics. I got the call today. There's no chicken nuggets in Greenville. Not coming. I've went by the fast food restaurants here locally and out when I was traveling to Virginia. They're closed. No workers. We're seeing the trickle-down effect happen. But here's the conspiracy theory. Oh, well, it's only America. Everywhere else, is fine. It's only America. Baloney. This is a global event of which America is only a part of. In the big picture of things on God's calendar, Joe Biden is nothing but a pawn Kamala Harris is nothing but a pawn. And don't you ever think that God is not still sitting on the throne and he puts people into positions and he allows things to happen or he causes things not to happen. Nothing happens without the sovereignty of God. That doesn't mean he's anti anything. What God is pro-God, God is pro-Bible, God is pro-truth, and God is pro-you. That's what's going on. We get so caught up in all this craziness and madness of this conspiracy or that conspiracy. Get off that conspiracy. Remember, this is the Hope Train. I don't care how bad it gets, God is still good. Don't you ever forget it. He's still in control. The U.S. House can do what they want to do. President Biden can do what he wants to do. Press Secretary Kamala Harris can do whatever she wants to do. And Vice President Jen Psaki can do whatever she wants to do. God is still in control. The Taliban can think they have authority. God is still in control. Many are the plans in a man's heart, but it's God's purpose that will ultimately prevail. And do not ever forget that fact. So it's not just happening in America. And Justin Reynolds, getting ready to roll you in. A couple of things happened today. Petrol stations close in the UK amid shortage of truck drivers. Oh, I thought that was only America. I thought it's just America being onslaughted by COVID and nobody wanting to work and a total meltdown. No, it's happening around the world. You just don't hear about it. Why? Because God's not just an American God. God is he's beyond our world, our universe. His ways are above our thoughts. His ways are above our ways. His thoughts are above our thoughts. He's not an American. He's sovereign. He's God. We often, so many times, get the American mindset. This is happening everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. Why? Because the earth is groaning for the appearing of the Son of God, the second coming of Jesus. They call it petrol stations. They close in UK amid shortage of truck drivers. Supply chain woes leave companies struggling to cope. Last night, on another program I do for broadcasting with Stephen Haywood and Marty McPadden, we had a guest on last night who's a guy high up at Netgear, a high-tech company with routers and modems and switches and all this stuff. And I asked him point blank, I said, how's your supply chain going? Horrible. Horrible. I said, well, is it going to change? There's 70 ships off the coast of LA, 50 off of San Francisco. It's got our products on it, and nobody's unloading them. It's not going to change. FedEx says it's rerouting more than 600,000 packages a day because it cannot find enough staff to process them. 2/3 of businesses around the world are struggling to hire. And that headline's a little goofy because they're not struggling to hire. They're ready to hire. Nobody wants to work. Folks, this is a global situation.
Heavy goods vehicles lumbering up and down Britain's highways, the pulse of a supply network currently in distress. Not only are there fewer lorry drivers, but with supply problems becoming a global phenomenon, there's often less to put in them.
We deliver everything around the UK. We provide for the UK. Everything what everyone's got on their tables or in their homes. It's been on the back of a trailer. So we got treated really bad throughout the COVID. You know, we're all parked up at night, can't get no food, can't get a shower, and some of us have had enough. So they went and got 9 till 5 jobs or day jobs so they can be home more.
As well as those opting for an easier life, lorry drivers from the EU have left Britain in their thousands, many never to return. The fall in driver numbers plus choke points in the global economy mean that supermarkets are warning of empty shelves at Christmas time. Manufacturing and car production are down. Climate change has affected crop yields and the timber market. And one prominent fast food chain recently ran out of chicken. Nick Spellman does high-end carpentry in the home improvement trade that has burgeoned since lockdown. Increased demand far exceeds supply, with the price of raw materials going through the roof.
I went to a wholesaler the other day. The timber that I bought there was probably around about 40% more than it was about 3 months ago. And they said, have you got everything you need? Because this time next week it's probably going to go up another 10%.
Tempting as it may be to point to a simple single cause, the reality is more complex. A post-Brexit, COVID, post-lockdown and climate crisis perfect storm hitting an intricate web of global supply chains in which the smallest glitch can affect the whole system. How long might it all last? Here's the view of a senior figure in the food and drink sector.
The fact that the UK shopper and consumer could have previously expected just about every product they want to be on shelf or in the restaurant all the time, that's over. And I don't think it's coming back.
The government doesn't accept that shortages may be permanent. What is harder to deny, though, is the effect on the economy, with inflation hitting record levels this month and 1 million job vacancies that the British workforce is struggling to fill. Post-COVID recovery plans could be slipping into the slow lane. Jonah Hull, Al Jazeera, London.
So, folks, there you have it. There's a report from the UK. Al Jazeera reporting. See, I just like that stuff because it just tells the straight truth. UK's struggling. And that one economist there, because typically in the past, you could see everything on the shelf, everything in the restaurant. I don't think it's ever coming back. How about a testimony from some of our viewers? John McElvey, at the store I own here in Alabama, we can't get some of our supplies. Holly Terry coming in for the Harvest Festival, can't get bouncers, which the kids love, for the Harvest Festival. Why? Because the companies have no workers to drive and stay with the bouncers. Ashley Mahalik, are you fired up? Why would anyone want to work when we the people have no choice but to pay for them to sit around? Not the upper class, but those of us called middle class who make just enough to take care of our families. But the government tells us to pay for those who can work but choose not to. Very well stated. Let me tell it to you this way, guys. And I mean this with everything in me. I do this every day. Every day. I just don't jump on here on Tuesday and Friday and start talking. A lot of work behind the scenes. I'm keeping up with everything. I follow some groups. I've got some friends I connect with around the world so I can bring you accurate stuff. Never hearsay, never conspiracy theory. But here's the deal. You know as well as I know, it cannot continue. Period. It cannot continue. Something is going to have to give. May the grace of God be with us. And I believe it will be. I believe the best is yet to come. Justin, get ready. I'm getting ready to roll you in there, buddy. While that's being said, today the Democrats, the United States, came out. They want to introduce a bill to analyze every penny that is spent in Israel, just blasting Israel. And there is Ilhan Omar. And another look at Ezekiel 38, the Saudi king today told the United Nations that his kingdom will support every effort to prevent nuclear Iran. So basically, what you have here is what I've been telling you. There's a coalition coming between Israel and Saudi Arabia. And I'm going to tell you something. When that coalition happens, when Israel comes into that kind of agreement with Saudi Arabia, you better get ready because the fireworks are going to start. So here's the bottom line, folks. Revival or we die. Why America needs another great awakening. And, that headline's okay, but honestly, the world needs an awakening. Opening in 2022 in Abu Dhabi is the Abrahamic Family House. Another thing pointing us toward the end times. The three major Abrahamic religions that came are Judaism, Christianity and Islam. And now there is an agreement between the leaders of some of these movements, not all facets, but of Judaism, Islam, and Christianity, to have a one-place house of worship. It is being built right now. It's going to be opening here in a few months, and it's going to be a place where Jews, Muslims, and Christianity come together as one religion. It's going to be called Chrislam. Fact, not hearsay. This is happening right now. We need revival. With that said, I'm going to roll a video for you next Tuesday that I think will be interesting for you. But for the last 15 minutes sharing together, I'm ready to bring in my buddy here, Justin Reynolds. He is the director of Hope Center Ministries, 26? How old are you?
26 years old.
26 years old. And this past week, we had a open house. It started today at the Hope Center. Justin is the director of the Hope Center. And Justin, you just talk up loud there so we get good audio level on you. But I just wanted to bring Justin in here because for the past 45 minutes, we've been talking about chaos, turning our own backs on our own country. We've looked at economics. We've looked at nations coming together and conspiring. We've looked at how this is going to relate to Scripture and the end times. We've looked at the merging of religions. We've looked at all these things, and it seems, and I try to push in hope and biblical truth the whole time so that we keep our eyes focused on Jesus, and we understand he still holds us in the palm of his hand. The best is yet to come. So I thought the best thing I could do tonight, especially since it's Hope Center grand opening, so I wanted to bring Justin on and just chat with him because I think that'll give all of us some hope. Justin, young man, been traveling with me forever, and now the director of Hope Center Ministries here in Greenville. It's a part of a larger network. What do you guys do there?
We are a 12-month residential faith-based recovery program for guys. This facility in Greenville is just for guys, and it's for drugs and alcohol recovery. Within that program, there are 3 different phases. The first phase, the first 45 days, the residents will focus on their recovery, and they'll be introduced to Jesus and have an opportunity to accept him, and he'll change their life in that first phase. And once we get them through that first phase, they enter the second phase, which is part of a vocational training phase. It's close to 10 months. Well, they'll actually be going to a job site and participating in vocational training for 10 months. And that vocational training helps them fund their stay at the Hope Center. And once they enter third phase, the money that they earn at work will go back to them. And so they'll get a little cash flow in their pockets, some more incentive to be hired on after they complete the program. And it's just an awesome program that Pastor Kent has partnered with Bethel Life. There's over 30 Hope Centers nationwide. And we're just really excited for this one here in Mercer County and Crawford County. This center is ginormous. It's 9,000 square feet, 11 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms, 11 acres. It's a monster. And we have a capacity to... We might have some deer back there.
Okay, well, I'll take care of the feeding of the Hope Center. I'll provide fresh venison. Justin, hang on. I want to show folks. This is the Hope Center website. So these are some of the locations you can see here. Waverly, Tennessee, McEwen, Tennessee, Dixon, Tennessee, Piperton, Tennessee, Portland, Tennessee, White House, Tennessee, Paris, Tennessee, Wichita Falls, Texas, Holiday, Texas, Axton, Virginia, Danville, Virginia, Vernon, Texas, Purcell, Oklahoma, Kailua, Hawaii. Man, that'd be a good one. Helena, Montana, Springfield, Tennessee, Tennessee, Camden, Tennessee, Dunn, North Carolina, Oklahoma City, Belpre, Ohio, Goldsboro, North Carolina, Hohenwald, Tennessee, Butte, Montana, Sikeston, Missouri, and there's our new place, Greenville, Pennsylvania. So if you guys are wondering, I'll show you a big picture here. This is our Hope Center that Justin is the director. He and his wife work out. So this is our location. So Justin, that's pretty exciting. And the folks got to see there. So that's wonderful. Partnering together, we got it. The open house was today. There's going to be an open house again Sunday for those of you local here in Pennsylvania from 2 to 5.
Correct.
And you can go on the website. It's hopecm.com, or you can go to our website, church website, and get connected to it. Send a message, whatever, if you would like to go. They would love for you to come out, tour the facility. I can tell you, it's unbelievable. It's a blessing of God. Also thankful that there'll be a partnership between, and I don't know if I'm maybe not able to call it partnership, but there's going to be a working together between Hope Center and Celebrate Recovery.
That's right. That's right. In fact, we've got several of our guys in Celebrate Recovery who have volunteered to come out and help mentor the guys who are living at the Hope Center. And Buddy Wilson, Larry Gurley, Ben Zimmer, I can't even name them all. They've just done, they've gone above and beyond to
I think Bruce Lozier comes out there.
Bruce Lozier, yes. Bruce has been a big help. He does some group counseling with our guys.
Yeah. Next time he's out there, I know his nickname. It's Lightning.
Lightning.
Had the guys call him Lightning.
Okay.
I don't know. Whatever. Not White Lightning, just Lightning.
Okay. Lightning.
Well, that's awesome. And getting lots of comments here, Justin. Folks that visited the open house. Lisa Johnson Smith, so exciting. What a beautiful home. Pastor Kathy C. with the hands up in the air. Heather Weinmiller, we partner with Hope Center in Goldsboro, North Carolina. Spencer Graves giving the hands up in the air and the thankfulness. And there's Buddy Wilson. Good evening, Justin, my friend. Rosemary Lozier. Hey, it's rolling. Ashley Mihalik, the Hope Center is absolutely beautiful. I foresee so much of God work coming from there. Heard quite a bit of music been playing for many men. Yeah, we got some talented guys over there. It's going to be pretty exciting. So, Justin, we've got 7 minutes and 40 seconds to go. Okay? On Facebook,
Okay.
YouTube, and Integrity Television. That's the Hope Center. You're the director. We look forward to it growing. Your wife, Rebecca, she was on the Wednesday night worship. She works with you, and she does director of admissions.
She's the admissions director. Yep.
Okay. So y'all are partnering together. Well, let's change gears. Remind everybody, how old are you?
I'm 26 years old.
26. Internationally well-traveled.
That's right. Half
You
Tanzanian.
trained by the best.
The best.
Not
The
me.
king.
Not me. Bishop
No.
Bearings Mlambya.
Absolutely.
The Askofu Makuba. The great bishop of Africa. All right, listen. Here's what I really want to ask you. You're 26. You heard me talking tonight about the current events, state of the world. A lot of folks in this program and my viewers, they're in their 30s, their 40s, their 50s, their 60s, their 70s, their 80s, and yes, their 90s. And I know you make jokes about me all the time, and here I am drinking the Ensure tonight. I understand. But give the folks here tonight that are much older than you your viewpoint. You see this stuff unfolding. You're a young man, newly married. You got your whole life ahead of you. You hear us talk about how great America was, how it was with Ronald Reagan and the patriotism after 9/11 and the Space Shuttle Challenger, and you have no clue what we're talking about. You're too young. How do you view what's going on in the world? what you've learned about end time events, et cetera, as a young man, where's your hope at? What pushes you?
Yeah. So as I was listening to you tonight, before you even said this, and this has been my viewpoint for my relatives who come to me with these concerns and stuff like this, I just go back to, God is in control. At the end of the day, he's in control. And, you hit the nail on the head. If he wants Joe Biden in power, if he wants Trump in power, he's going to put them in power. And no matter who it is, no matter what world leader it is, it all comes from God. All power comes from God. Jesus told that to Pilate when he was talking to Pilate. He'd said, you'd have no authority over me if it wasn't given to you by my Father above. So I just rest on that, and I know that God has a plan. He has a perfect plan. And not only does he have a perfect plan for the world, he has a perfect plan for my life. And I know when I seek him and I seek his will, he's not going to back away from me. He's going to come towards me. And I try to just block out the noise and focus on what God has for me. That's how I deal with the chaos that's going on around me. I think that normalcy has ended, at least what we knew what was normal. And we just have to press on and focus on the task ahead and what God has for us as individuals, as Christians, as churches. And that way we can fulfill his purpose.
How do we reach these folks that are, I'll try to be polite, but many of them in your generation, let's just be honest, they're clueless.
Sure.
They're absolutely clueless.
Yeah.
How do we reach them? How do we reach people your age?
You reach people my age by developing a relationship with them. It's no different than reaching any different demographic, people group, whether it's in Africa or America. You have to develop a relationship with them. I had a mentor of mine, Dave Robinson, who just poured into me, invested time into me, cared about me on a personal level. And I just let him pour into my life because I saw how much he cared about me. And so when we care about other people, it allows for the opportunity for us to invest in their lives and share Jesus with them. So
that's exciting. Dave was a very important part of our ministry here. He traveled with me to Ukraine. We did lose Dave this past year to COVID, and we miss him very much. He made an impact on many, many people. So I'm thankful to hear that. So as a young fella, you see the stuff going around. Somebody, Lisa Johnson Smith, put in here, says, I love that quote, block out the noise and focus on the Lord. Now, Paul Kiss has lost his mind. He's got Rick Barry for vice president. Bruce Loester's got PG for president. Let's go, Lightning. Oh, Nathan Wright. Paul Kiss for senator. We've completely lost our mind on the experience tonight. Hey, but here's the deal, Justin. You're 26. You're doing a great work for the Lord, and we're very thankful. And I think above and beyond everything else, we got about 90 more seconds together, just for the people that are viewing, and there's lots of folks in here tonight on all the platforms, you give hope to people, you and Rebecca, by seeing your age, your desire, and your message of hope. So we want to say thank you for that. You got something you want to bless our people with on the way out the door?
Yeah, I'm just reminded with Luke chapter 5 when Jesus heals a paralyzed man, and the heroes of the story weren't the disciples. It wasn't even Jesus. It was the guys who brought the paralyzed man to Jesus. So I just encourage you with, what are you willing to do to bring someone to Jesus?
Go ahead, folks. Somebody taught you how to preach. Don't look at the obvious. Look for the details, and you'll find a powerful message. May we all, just like Justin and Rebecca at the Hope Center, They're carrying people to the gospel. May we all find a way to carry people to the gospel. We're thankful for our home church, Bethel Life. We're thankful for Integrity Television. We're thankful for Facebook and for YouTube and for the platforms where we can share the message. Justin, you and Rebecca, you guys rock. And we'll get you back on here again. You're pretty articulate, buddy. You were trained well.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it, PG.
Love you, buddy. May the Lord bless
you.
you guys. Keep you. We love you. Have a great night. We'll see you soon on The Experience. Good night.